Cameron Ream from Grace Gospel Home Educators, and I'll be performing for you today, Marilla Cuthbert is Surprised, taken from Anne of Green Gables by L. M. Montgomery. You don't want me? You don't want me because I'm not a boy? I might have expected it. Nobody ever did want me. I might have known it was all too beautiful to last. I might have known nobody ever really did want me. Oh, what shall I do? I'm going to burst into tears. Burst into tears she did, sitting down on a chair by the table and flinging her arms out upon it. She proceeded to cry stormily. Marilla and Matthew looked at each other deprecatingly across the stove. Neither of them knew what to say or do. Finally, Marilla stepped lamely to the breach. Well, well, there's no need to cry so about it. Yes, there is need. You would cry too if you had come to a place you thought was going to be home and found that they didn't want you because you weren't a boy. Oh, this is the most tragical thing that has ever happened to me. Well, don't cry any more about it. We're not going to turn you out of doors tonight. You'll have to stay here until we investigate this affair. What's your name? Would you please call me Cordelia? Call you Cordelia? Is that your name? No, it's not exactly my name, but I would love to be called Cordelia. It's such a perfectly elegant name. I don't know what on earth you mean. If Cordelia isn't your name, what is? Anne Shirley. But oh, please do call me Cordelia. It can't matter much to you what you call me if I'm only going to be here a little while. And Anne is such an unromantic name. Unromantic fiddlesticks. Anne is a real good, plain, sensible name. You've no need to be ashamed of it. Oh, I'm not ashamed of it. It's only I like Cordelia better. I've always imagined that my name was Cordelia. At least, I have in late years. When I was younger, I used to imagine it was Geraldine, but I like Cordelia better now. So, if you must call me Anne, will you please call me Anne, spelled with an E? What difference does it make how it's spelled? Oh, it makes such a difference. It looks so much nicer. When you hear a name pronounced, can't you see it in your mind just as if it was printed out? I can. And A-N-N looks dreadful. But A-N-N-E looks so much more distinguished. So, if you'll only call me Anne, spelled with an E, I shall try to reconcile myself on not being called Cordelia. Very well then, Anne, spelled with an E. Take off your hat. I'll put it with your bag on the hall table. Anne took off her hat meekly, and they sat down to supper. But Anne could not eat. In vain she nibbled at the bread and butter and pecked at the crab apple preserve on the little scallop dish by her plate. She didn't really make any headway at all. You're not eating anything, said Marilla, eyeing her sharply, as if it was a serious shortcoming. I can't. I'm in the depths of despair. Can you eat when you're in the depths of despair? I've never been in the depths of despair, so I can't say. Weren't you? Well, didn't you ever try to imagine that you were in the depths of despair? No, I didn't. Then I don't think you can understand how it feels. It's a very uncomfortable feeling indeed. When you try to eat, a lump comes right up to your throat, and you can't swallow anything, not even if it was a chocolate caramel. I had a chocolate caramel once, 2 years ago, and it was simply delicious. I've often dreamed since then that I had a lot of chocolate caramels. But I always wake up just when I'm going to eat them. So I do hope you won't be offended, just because I can't eat. Everything is extremely nice, but still, I cannot eat. I suppose you have a nightgown? Yes, I have two. The matron of the asylum made them for me. They're fearfully skimpy. There is never enough to go around in an asylum, so that things are always skimpy, at least in a poor asylum like ours. I hate skimpy night dresses, but one can dream just as well as them as in lovely trailing ones with the frills around the neck. That's one consolation. Well, undress quick as you can and go to bed. I'll be up in a few minutes for the candle. I daren't trust you to put it out. You'd likely set the place on fire. When Marilla had gone, Anne looked about her wistfully. The whitewashed walls were so painfully bare and staring that Anne thought they must ache over their own bareness. The floor was bare, too, except for a round braided mat in the middle, such as Anne had never seen before. In one corner was the bed, a high, old-fashioned one with 4 dark, low-turn posts. In the other corner was the aforesaid 3-corner table, adorned with a fat, round, red velvet pincushion, hard enough to turn the point of the most adventurous pin. Above it hung a little 6-by-8 mirror. Midway between table and bed was the window, with an icy white muslin frill over it, and opposite it the washstand. The whole apartment was of a rigidity not to be described in words, but one which sent a shiver to the very marrow of Anne's bones. With a sob, she hastily discarded her garments, put on the skimpy nightgown, and sprang into bed, where she burrowed her face downwards, pulling the bedclothes over her. When Marilla came up for the candle, various skimpy articles of raiment, scattered most untidily over the floor, and a certain tempestuous appearance of the bed, were the only indications of any presence save her own. She deliberately picked up Anne's clothes, placed them neatly on a prim yellow chair, and then, taking up the candle, went over to the bed. Good night. Anne's white face and big eyes appeared over the bedclothes with a startling suddenness. How can you call it a good night when you know it must be the very worst night I've ever had? And then she dived back down into invisibility again.